What's happening with the world? It's your mans and them, the Toothless Wonder. Again, reporting on the Bamboozle Again News Network. Excuse me if there's a glare. It looks like it's one on my end, but we're going to roll it anyway. And this video will be sponsored by the sister Brandy Wilson. Um, I try to be fair and balanced in my assessments. And, like the movie The Ladies Man, you can call in and make a request on my thoughts on a particular subject matter. So I know, as the black man, our counterpart will say, things of the nature of, well, why don't you critique black men? And I think I do. Like I just did one on the bully coon Negroes, so on and so forth. Um, but typically, black men make content about black women because it's what we naturally have affinity for and whatever our frustrations are in relation to that. I'll say this though. All of our issues with the black woman are actually our fault. Spiritually speaking, societally speaking, this is our fault. Granted, you go through life and you may not, be privy to certain information or whatever the case may be. But when you become aware of it, this is all our fault. Whether it's, I blame Big Meech for tricking culture. You know what I'm saying? I blame us for being so immersed in this matrix, which I don't know if that's totally our fault until we get awakened. And playing into, the gynocracy or whatever the case may be. I've personally done it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, whatever our critiques are of the i.e. black woman, as far as her being over sexualized, we feed into that. If brothers wasn't giving that energy over, there'd be no incentive to do it. There's a quote that says a nation can rise no further than its women. Um, but I believe at the same time, us men are, and I'm putting us in mass, myself included, just as a demographic, we're responsible for this. Granted, have there been societal things? Yes. But we're responsible for this. Even in relation to my own personal situation, sometimes I get so frustrated by the hoops that I gotta go through. Like yesterday, I went to an agency and got information from another agency saying my daughter lives with me, but they're saying that ain't enough information. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but if the shoe were on the other foot, they wouldn't even have to go through these limps. They would just take their word for it. You know what I'm saying? So why would I come down here and make fraudulent statements about something that ain't true and potentially go to jail? You know what I'm saying? Whatever, right? But Miss Brandon asked me about, you should do something about deadbeat dad. Honestly, I might not be the best person to, from a male perspective, to critique deadbeat dads. Because one, I'm not saying I don't know any, but I really don't be around any for the sheer fact that whatever a deadbeat father's value system, even if I don't know he's a deadbeat dad, we're probably not going to be around each other. Because, like, if you, are willingly or apathetic in the area of being a deadbeat father, you're probably going to have other traits and values that I don't align with, or that's going to, like, kind of repel me from you. You know what I mean? Most of the dudes I know, well, let's say my generation, I don't know, 35, 45, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're like the first generation of like the single family household. Like my parents had their parents. You see what I'm saying? So in relation to my dad not being there, I always said, even when I was younger, if I ever have a child, I won't leave my child. And actually put up with bad treatment. Because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Like I'm supposed to sacrifice myself to be in the household, to raise my child, whoop, whoop, whoop. I didn't really understand like breaking off and establishing my own at that point. I just had this ideal in my mind that I'm supposed to like sacrifice my own mental health or whatever the case may be to be in the home physically to raise my child. And I think a lot of brothers have done that and it hadn't worked. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: of the brothers that I do know, um, they don't go through half the stuff like myself or others who are fighting, just to be fathers, and then have people tell you how to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Or be the father under my, I guess, protocols or whatever the case may be. Um, I notice like when you genuinely, and they know you genuinely don't care, they can't affect you in it. Like they might put you on child support, you might kill, you might not. And I've also noticed with the proverbial deadbeat father or just the deadbeat man, as far as his value system, he's like I said in the previous video, he got 99 problems, but getting a woman ain't one. You can walk up to a woman, and I've seen it happen, and say, I got 6 kids by 8 women. And she'll be like, okay. And she'll still fool with you. She's not looking at that as some knock on your character or whatever the case may be. I don't know, maybe women like drama or I don't know, man. But I really don't know a whole lot of deadbeat fathers. I know they don't care. I know they're apathetic. And I know they really don't go through certain stuff, you know what I'm saying, in relation to fighting for the child, because they don't care. So I guess the woman can't really vex him other than maybe the court system. But he's still not going to do X, Y, Z, nor does he care for whatever the reason. So there's no vexation on his part. Just like, I don't know, if unfortunately, if a bomb gets dropped in China, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not really empathetic, sympathetic to it. I would like to be just for the humanity aspect, but it don't affect me none. So if I don't care about, the rearing, the future of the child, how much can she really levy against me other than child support? You know what I mean? And I guess, and it always seems like this, right, where two good people very seldom, and I'm speaking of recent times, it seems like, and I know it does happen, but it doesn't seem to happen at a good enough rate to counterbalance what we see in society. Like two good people getting together. It's either one good male or female, and one bad person, male or female, or just two toxic people. But I will try to highlight the spiritually deadbeat man in totality, whether he has kids or not, and some commonalities and traits among the dead, as we're in this space where people are dying spirit or unaliving spiritually. Here's one: they pander. They will say whatever in whatever group to be accepted, hence losing their spine. You know what I mean? You can't trust the deadbeat man because there's no governing principles or ethics that govern him. Typically, he's the opportunistic one. He's going to be the one, like Kanye said, to get on and then leave you for a white girl. or for superficiality purposes. That be the brother who, you get with him, you put him on, you might, change his wardrobe or whatever the case may be. And then he go out there and sleep with your homegirl. Which, again, these brothers seemingly don't go through the stuff the average quote-unquote good man goes through. I don't particularly understand that. The deadbeat man is very selfish. In that correlation, he's all about himself on the left-hand side of things. Now, I'm all about myself with balance in the sense of going forward and taking others into account who are under my authority or sphere of influence. I'm selfish in that regard, but just selfish in the sense of everyone's here to serve me, and I care nothing about, how people are affected that I have the ability to influence or in proximity to. These Negroes are very vain. So typically these Negroes are very superficial, fashion-wise, European status-wise. If these people are deadbeat fathers, men, they're not going to have any internal substance. They're not going to have any deeper level conversation. And now we're in a space where, let's say if they do, it's because maybe they learned it through Facebook in order to dupe you, but it's really not in them. Because now we're in a space where not just men or, just people in general, when they present themselves to you, they're attempting to discern what you like or or what version of themselves they would think you would like to see. And then they chameleon themselves into that. But also what I'm saying is the mask slips very quickly. The days are gone seemingly where, sister meet a brother or whatever the case may be, and he run his game on her, but she don't realize who he really is until like 5 years down the road. Now it's only taking five hours or 5 days. You see what I'm saying? And I'll be honest, I might critique more women because that's what I'm naturally have more of affinity towards, romantically. But I actually despise ninjas. Ninjas are the ones holding us back. Ninjas are the ones who are campaigning, as we see now in the election, um, for the things that aren't going to benefit us now. Now, I don't think personally either one of them is going to benefit us. But if we're talking about the two probably major issues, let's say foreign policy, immigration, the economy, that's more main man, Trumpazoids, kind of thing. So he probably, and then being that he previously held the position, he's probably the best individual of the two for the job, right? Um, this woman is currently in charge and has done nothing, and then just tells you vote for me, and then I'll change it when she has the power to do so now. I actually want her to get in there, not because I like her or whatever the case may be, and she's been caught lying about her ethnicity, and I think it's a slap in the face for her to, go eat chicken wings at the local AME church, and everybody get to dance, and that's slap in the face into my intelligence. You understand me? But I just think I want to get in there because I want to see this place tip over, so that when the illusionary aspect of this society, the illusion of wealth, when you don't own nothing, the illusion of societal status, these degrees and so on and so forth, don't have any functionality as far as you feeding yourself and all that. I think we'll naturally go back, by default, to the way things are naturally ordered and structured. You know what I mean? So we won't really have to worry about the deadbeat man per se, because there'll be no incentive or there'll be no incentive or elimination of the consequence of dealing with it. So he'll have no allure. It'll be, the righteous dude. It'll be the hardworking man. All of a sudden, y'all gonna be like, wow, like why I ain't never see that about Cub before. You know what I mean? I like how he just laid all 40,000 of them bricks. I never seen it like that before. Main man who, hold the pistol and all that, maybe for protection purposes. But you're gonna see him as a liability now. And again, it's because we're in the matrix. I like to believe nobody has a monopoly on the truth. We're all on this path of discovering the truth, and I think we're all at various stages awakening to certain things. Back to being a dead. Look, actually, I do know a deadbeat dad. You're looking at him. Let me put it on me. You know what I'm saying? Making excuses. You know what I'm saying? I was playing victimhood. Granted, I kind of got backed up on child support, which affected, I guess, my ability to provide because I broke my neck. And then, at the time, I became very selfish because of, I guess a traumatic event. So I'm like, man, I pay them people when I feel like it. When you don't respect something, you just not pay them when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, nobody cares. And really, they don't. But at the same time, just because I perceive nobody cares doesn't mean that gives me the right to negate my obligations and responsibilities. You understand me? And as I went down the journey, and that set in on me to a greater degree, I said, oh man, I'm Willie Lump, yo. Oh, I felt terrible. Then I remember back on all the stuff I said all them years back about not leaving my child and all this, that, and the third. And I had did it. I said, oh man. So I became held like I actually structured everything in my life um, to function in functionality, become a better father. Fixing credit. I never had I hadn't had a license in 20 years because I had caught two DUIs back to back. You know what I mean? Leverage purposes. Like if I got a license car or whatever, it's regular normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting to that point, right? But now, like I can come get my daughter rather than asking, begging, pandering for someone to bring her to me. You see what I'm saying? So people respect me more as a man. Not just that, but upgrading my personal skill set. Like I've talked about, I've gotten certain utility solar related certs before personal situation that I've talked about on here. I was actually had went all the way to Pennsylvania to enroll in CDL school. But it seems as though, sidebar note, that I'm more suited and I find it more purposeful working with recovering addicts. I think, and especially the way the game is now, because of how insurance has infiltrated the recovery industry, where a lot of the compassion is gone. You're basically a number now, from what I've seen and understood, and my personal experience. And I give brothers the real game. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I get to you like this. Hey, so let's say you've been smoking crack for 20 years, yeah. It's gonna be a long road back. And I mean, I've seen brothers do this, but it's not en masse. So if you've been smoking crack for 20 years, your life I mean, as far as using and becoming a better person, but your life ain't gonna change in no year, yo. It might take you years to, again, legitimize yourself, character-wise with references. Going to school or whatever the case may be, to get a skill that'll pay you a livable wage. You know what I'm saying? Just because you haven't smoked crack in a year, don't mean your kids are going to forgive you if you ain't been in their life for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And then coming back demanding, that stuff don't work. You know what I'm saying? You got to humble yourself. You know what I mean? I was a deadbeat at one point. And again, like I said in the last video, I can actually tell y'all that because I'm not like that no more. And I've healed from that. And it took a lot of work. And most of the work was the internal work. Just like I said with the situation with my child, I had to be, and I don't want to say louder, but I allowed her to voice her opinion. Now, of course, do this respectfully now. So when she brought up, me drinking, me not being there when she was younger, I had to own up to that. You are absolutely and 100% emphatically correct. That's why I had to go off and work on myself so that I could get back in your life. You see what I'm saying? But now that I'm back, and I'm apologize for this, sometimes as a father, you have everyone or like to believe you do, and then you just tell people what to do, right? Because you feel like it's in their best. Not so much to have control issues, nothing like that, because I care and I don't want nothing to happen, right? And she said something that took me back. I'm like, okay, yeah. Even back to when I was younger, where she was like, well, sometimes I just want you to listen. I said, there it is. Sometimes it's not always solving the problem. Sometimes they just want you to listen to the problem. You know what I'm saying? And then you ask, oh, would you like my input, or did you just want my ears? You know what I'm saying? And I said, because I was kind of very old fashioned, where you know you kind of seen, not heard, don't nobody really, not in no abusive kind of way. But their thing is, you ain't been on Earth long enough to know what's going on, or for your opinion to really matter. So we gonna tell you what to do because we know best. They meant well, but I remember how that affected me, right? So I said, I took that back. So I said, okay, because if I'm your father and I desire the best for you, and if I'm, the leader of my household, I need to understand where everybody's coming from. You should, even on your job, you should feel comfortable coming to me voicing concerns and opinions, and me discerning whether you want my input or you just want me to listen. Daddy got to be able to take all that in. Any leader, really. You know what I'm saying? So if someone feels you care, and that they're empathetic to however you feel, right? And you're open to hearing them out, they're more inclined to follow or do whatever you're asking them to do, because I know this person has shown me they care. They got my back. You know what I mean? We can even like with me and the Brandy one, we can disagree, and it ain't no love lost. You understand me? And I think that's a skill that we've lost in the Negro community, especially in the divisive, polarizing aspect of society today. Like, I have family members, because of either the issue of the jab or the issue of, political preference, which I ain't got neither one, where these people won't even talk to you, or they'll view you as the enemy. I never remember a time previous to this where, let's say, I like Jordan, you like Kobe, and that's enough for us to not be friends anymore, or have some level of visceral, or take on this adversarial stance. Now we agree, or we cool on everything else, but since you like the Yankees and I like the Orioles, that means we can't work together. When did that become a thing? You see, even in parenting. Again, I believe, the gynocracy in black men is kind of under the guise of the curses. So just like, even if you got a good situation, she still has the ability to use the system. Pray she don't, you know what I'm saying? Not saying she will, but that is an option, and she knows that. You know what I'm saying? So you're never completely, under a patriarchal kind of construct, right? But in patriarchal kind of constructs, they don't have the issues we have. And we're in this, matriarchal culture so much so that was actually created by men, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, that the right way of doing things isn't even a thought now. Like I just saw a post from a Facebook friend, and it had the word vote, but it had like inside of the letters, it had like the V was like a no, the T was no, yeah, the T was like a uterus, and I think one of the letters had like the LGBT, flag imprinted into it, and it was like protect your daughter rights. Here's what I'm saying, right? Instead of giving these women the right to unalive children, right, which is basically what it is at the end of the day, how about we help them to stop sleeping with men that they don't want to have children by? Problem solved. Now you don't have to go through a surgical procedure. But ultimately, they do that so they can contribute to the same action and behavior that led to them having to make that decision in the first place. But why not just pick a better quality of man to sleep with? Problem solved. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to even argue that point because it makes no sense. And again, I go back to this, where they say my body, my choice. But when they slap the employer mandate on, most of these same women who fight for that particular right didn't buck on that. Because, the I guess the employer, whatever, you'll, disregard my body, my choice, because in a woman's mind, that's what gives her independence or power, whatever the case may be, to not kind of come under the leadership authority of a man, right? And I know that word is triggering, right? But it's not triggering when you go to work. See, here's how they dupe this, right? In this whole matrix. They'll have you thinking, or the modern woman thinking that, honoring a man that you sleep with and chose to marry is slavery. But working for another man for 40 hours isn't. Most times, from what I've seen, they have more respect for their boss who pays them than the man they lay with. You know what I mean? It's like, this whole Mickey flick is crazy. And it's so crazy you can't like kind of rewrite the ship until the illusion falls away. Because I even get confused trying to describe the undescribable to someone, even on these videos. Like, I don't know how to articulate how to make sense of something, or how much something doesn't make any sense. See, I can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so, like, how do I explain? That's like me explaining to someone why it's not wise to speed down the highway drunk. Like, I shouldn't have to explain that. You should, like, you know what I'm saying? How do I come up with some, thesis statement of why you shouldn't speed down the highway at over 100 miles an hour drunk, other than you should just realize you shouldn't do that? And I think that's why it'd be kind of hard, especially with that particular issue, it's hard to really critique it or expound upon it, because there's nothing to expound upon. It's just common sense, right? But we do have a whole lot of deadbeat men. And I don't mean deadbeat just as far as children. I mean deadbeat in our communities. Deadbeat as far as standing up for what's right. Yo, I was thinking about this too, right? And I know, like, the kind of cancel culture and all that. But when I was reading in the Apocrypha of, let's say, these brothers who, and it's in the Bible too, who got burned at the stake, right? And didn't tell and was singing, right? I'm wondering, of the Hebrew women that witnessed that, excuse my language, when they seen that man go out like a soldier, did it make their box wet? Damn, that's a G right there. You know what I'm saying? And them people ain't had a lot of time. They weren't rich and all that there. Like they saying now you gotta have 6 figures to date, and like we're arguing about stuff or the 100% 50-50 jump and all that. We talk about all this here, which to me are irrelevant talking points in light of what's looming. Like let's say, what is prophesied happen. All those talking points or discussion are going out the window. Ain't nobody finna kill. When your stomach on your back, you be trying to figure out how to hunt squirrels with rocks. You know what I mean? Word up. And there has been the emasculation agenda. And I'll be honest, yo, I think we've all been kind of privy to it to some degree. Us men, even if we don't want to realize it. In a sense, when I was in Baltimore and couldn't get no job, I said, man, let me. So I cut off all my facial hair, yo. I looked like I was going in the Navy, just trying to look less threatening to appease the white power structure. I'm not one of them. See, look, you can see my chin. I like a baby bird in the chin, cuz. Still ain't getting no job. I said, man, fuck off. Oh, excuse my language. I said, man, forget all that, man. I'm just going as is at this point, because you just stop caring. You know what I'm saying? I think brothers have been emasculated. You know what I'm saying? In your various relationships. You might not want to admit it. And then it typically either one or two things happen. Me and brothers such as myself, we muscle up in the paint, become more independent. Because that ain't no good feeling. Oh, no, bud, that ain't no good feeling. Or what we see now, because of the societal imposition, brothers are pandering. Brothers are hopping on YouTube like your Derek Waxons and all that and talking about, you know what I mean? I seen one joint, my man say, what did he say? If I forgot what he said, but he was saying something like, if you don't make your woman bust every time y'all sleep together, she got the right to sleep with another man because you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like those type of talking points. Now, all these brothers have come out to be frauds, you know what I'm saying? I made a video about the Yada Awakening man. I think they installed him because he has seemingly, I don't know if he's African, or at least they dress more tribunal, I guess, or whatever. But he's talking about how he give his wife a salary and he has no access to it, and she tell him what to do, and he go out and make all the money and woo woo. First of all, no real man want no situation like that. But I think he's there to give brothers a false idol to ascribe to, who enjoy tricking, who enjoy, like, this is a natural thing, especially if you go up in a single parent household and your mama talk to you crazy, and then your sister and then the school teacher talk to you crazy. As a black man, as soon as you come out the womb, woman just talking to you crazy, yeah. And I think what happens is you get so beat down. And I've heard brothers say this, that they're not turned on by a woman unless she fuss them out and all that. But I'm thinking more, logically, like, because that's actually a trauma response. Because that's all so you don't know any different. So if you see some woman who, let's say is more appeasing, like that German woman who made her critique about black women, that's going to be so foreign to you, even though you like it, you'll actually go back to that which is toxic because that's what you're used to. You know what I'm saying? And I think in a certain, like with my man DC Mo, he had become so emasculated to the point where he started subconsciously doing things in order to get emasculated. You know what I'm saying? And then come to me and be like, man, they treat me bad because you want to be treated bad. You keep answering the phone when they talking to you crazy. Stop answering the phone, yeah? And you continue to answer the phone. So it's almost reinforcing that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing what I did, and all of it hit, oh man, they treated me like Willie Lump Lump. Oh, I can't believe I could let them people carry me, yo. I should go find them. But it's over now. Oh man. But now let me look at what I was doing that made me feel so whatever about myself that I allowed that to happen. Again, taking personal responsibility. Even in the respect of my child, my community, my whatever. I can't do it all, but I'm required to do my part. And I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. And I think that's all, like, just as a man, that's all you can do under the sovereign authority of the Most High. And in due time, he'll lift you up. I don't know if I know I jumped around a little bit. I don't know if I covered it the way I really wanted to. Cause I really don't, like, somebody had asked me to hook them up with somebody, right? And they said they like toxic men. So I was like, you asking the wrong person. Cause I don't really know no toxic men. I'm darn sure ain't hanging with none. You know what I mean? Because it's stupid. Because toxicity is like vapors. I'm going to get affected by it. I'm going to take it into my nostrils and get sick. And you know what I'm saying? So that don't make no sense to me. I know I've been all over the place with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. I'll leave on this note, right? For the sisters who, have their issues with deadbeat men or whatever, it really ain't a whole lot you can do because he don't care. So you can't, like, set a course of action or manipulate or set up the chess piece to get him to behave a certain way you would like him to, whether it's valid or not, because he don't care. But I will say this. What's going to happen is there should be, now, on the men's side of things, looking at women, it seems to be different. You seemingly can't tell between wifey and the harlot because they're all blended together and like the division, like you can't really tell just because like she goes to church or she dresses a certain way. Like when I was at the job, the most soft-spoken and the most classy of carrying, sisterhood in that joint was going the hardest in the paint. But but the ladies have it easier. as far as identification purposes. There's a vast difference between the proverbial sound sausage head, the street guy, the woo, the woo, the woo, and the good, decent brother. I think what's happened is they societally rewired women's brains to find sound sausage head attractive. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's happened. So there's a vast difference. So if you are dealing with a deadbeat dude, I know, here's another thing I noticed, right? They be like, oh, he got over on me, da da da. But I've noticed something, right? Now, if I come to you, genuinely, right, you'll make me jump through hoops to prove that what I'm saying is true. Okay, cool. But when Sam Sausagehead Jr. come to you and tell you whoop de whoop de whoop, you take him at his word. That's why I was like, black people as a whole, and sometimes I wonder if we actually enjoy being lied to. I've done it just as a social experiment, but didn't follow through on it. Like I went in the bar and told the most wildest lies, and everybody was on my jockey strap. And I'm like, wow, tripping to myself, but I ain't followed through it. You know what I'm saying? You have to make these individuals prove to you who they are, what they say out their mouth. Instead of giving them the box super early, just sit back and chill and wait. You know what I'm saying? See how he moves. See how he get down when he come around. See what kind of family situation he got. See what he believes. Just do your due diligence. Because now what's happening, people aren't they're already changed. Like the separation already happened. So in my humble opinion, it's not like, oh, he's great now, and then he'll fall off later on as far as his character and all that. That's already honed and built in him now. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a conscious choice. If you look back on it, if the man was a deadbeat, you chose wrong. Just like I chose wrong. I take personal responsibility. Now, hey, I don't like it, but I know when messing with this woman, I was gonna have a hard road. I just don't believe in abortion. Had I believed in abortion, I wouldn't even be talking about none of this to y'all. I'd probably be out the country. You know what I'm saying? So, with anything that goes on around us to the best of our ability, the key is to take personal responsibility for it. And if let's say somebody get over on you, instead of getting mad, angry, and upset, how about we just learn from it so it don't happen again? Just like, and I'll keep it on the brother where, oh, these women keep doing me wrong. Well, why you keep choosing that type of woman? It's not her doing you wrong. It's you. You need to figure out, you want everybody to act the way you want them to act. How about you figure out why you keep getting duped by the same type of person? Because once you figure that out, it'll stop happening. But then a lot of times what happens is people want the attention and the sympathy that come from, again, victim, esteeming the victim, except real victims. We'll esteem victims who constantly play a part in their own demise, but true victims of, let's say, SA trafficking or sexual abuse and all that, just they hard pressed to get any justice. You know what I mean? But I've been on here enough, man. Let me get on up out here, man.